Hey guys, somebody asked me to do a video of what's the best guitar rig for under $1,000, and I thought of a few of them, so we're going to do that today. So stick around and see. I think we got three or four maybe that we're going to do. So check it out. Here we go. All right, so first of all, we need to pick a guitar, and the guitar I'm thinking of is not here, so we need to run downstairs. All right, so Harley Benton Telecaster. Now that's going to save you a lot of money up front there going with the Harley Benton, because you can get a good guitar from them for about 150 bucks. So we're going to start with that, and I may change the guitar up depending on the rig, so let's do that first. All right, we got our guitar. Now let's go for the amp, and of course, probably the only thing that's going to keep you under 1,000 is to go with the Katana, because everything else I have in here is about 500 to 1,000 for the amp or more. So, or even the cab. So we're going to do a Katana. And then I got a couple options for pedal board. First one would be, let's do this one first. I think this is probably the best bet for staying under 1,000. And you could probably even add more to this. This is the Richie Kotzen RK5 Fly Rig by Tech 21. So let's check out how this sounds. All right, so we've got the Harley Benton TE30, which is kind of Harley Benton's low-end Telecaster. It is going into a Boss Katana MK2, and we have the Richie Kotzen Fly Rig on top. And the reason why I think this is a great rig is because you just basically have these three things you can take with you. The Tech 21 Fly Rig does a lot of stuff. I mean, I know the Katana does too, but you have to buy a special foot switch for that, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But this thing, you can have, you got your delay, it's basically your pedal board, your delay, your reverb, and your tuner, all in one thing, and your distortion, and there's also a boost. So this RK5 Fly Rig, I feel like it's the best bang for buck as far as like just a little miniature mini pedal board. They do run about $350. The Katana is about $250. They may have gone up in price, $270 maybe now. I don't know. These are about $120, $130. So you're still looking at about, you're still under 1,000. So let's listen to it. This is just clean. And I feel like these Harley Benton Tellies have enough snap and everything else to give you the sound you want. So it doesn't bother me that these kind of guitars are only like 130 bucks. Because I've gone out and gigged with them, you guys. If you've watched my channel long enough, you've seen me go out and gig with these kind of guitars. Anyway, let's check this rig out. So here it is. We are going to turn on the reverb, which is right here. And on the Fly Rig, you can adjust the different size of reverb. So if you want like a shorter room sound, you can get that. I kind of like a longer. I do have the Sans amp on right now, which is this section here. It's kind of like an amp, like a cleaner, maybe kind of driven amp going into the front end of the Katana. Katana's EQ is set at 12 o'clock on all bass, mid, and treble. And let's turn on the delay. Let's try turning on the boost. All right, let's turn on the distortion. Try the boost with that. There's also, like, instead of doing a delay, you can do a roto speaker, or rotos. Like a rotary sound. All right, guys, so that's rig number 1 for under $1,000. TE30 Boss Katana RK5 Fly Rig by Tech 21. Let's do number 2. All right, rig number 2 is still Boss Katana, but now we have what's called the Air Step Katana, or Air Step Cat. And this rig's nice because this thing just plugs directly into the back of your Katana MK2, which is the second generation of Katana. So the Air Step can control via this little USB-C cable what the Katana does. And so this is only $100. This guitar is by a company called Vintage, and I think you can buy these for about $500 used. And the Katana is, again, like $250. So we got $250, $100, $500. So we're still under $1,000, and this is a pretty cool rig. This is what it sounds like. Turn on the gain. All right, so the nice thing about this setup is that the possibilities are kind of endless, because whatever you can program in Katana, you can program these switches to do delays, reverbs, boosts, distortion, channel switching, modulations, up to 5. And then I think there's a mode where you can do up to 6. But if you click this button, you can go through different presets that you've programmed. So this one right here would be like a preset. It's a blue light instead of a green. Then this would be a preset. Then this would be a preset. And then this would be a preset. All right, guys, this last rig, we are going to be using the same guitar because these are reasonably priced, great guitars for they're about $500, I think, these guitars. And you can find them used probably for cheaper maybe. But we're just doing this, and then this is an HX Stomp by Line 6. And these go about $599. So with this and this, you're running about the $1,000 range. If you wanted to, you could find one used and one of these used, and maybe buy a just like old monitor that you could run this into as a speaker on stage, so you have something to monitor yourself with. The Katana is just here to hold up the HX Stomp. It's not part of this rig, actually. So yeah, this is a good way to go. It has, what's cool about Helix or HX Stomp or Helix is it has snapshots. So you can do stuff like this where if you want to, you can have just a sound set up. And then maybe you have a lead on this button here. And then another sound over here. All right, guys, so that is setup number 3 for under $1,000-ish dollars for your rig. Let's do one more. And yeah, let's do one more. Here we go. All right, guys, so rig number 4 is just like a Fender, like player type Tele or Strat is what I would do. You can get those for, I think, close to around $750, $800 these days. Get yourself a Katana, get yourself this Joyo American or any kind of cheap just pedal. Put it in front of your Katana and just use it as a boost. So what I would do if you're just looking to just have just one sound for your main sound, but you also want to have a boost for solos with kind of maybe a different sound, or even just a different sound. It's just having one pedal on the floor. This is a really simple setup. A lot of you guys might like this setup. It might work really well for you if you don't want to use a ton of pedals, just want a different sound. You could dial in something really nice on the katana, like maybe something like this. Something that's kind of volume. You can use your volume knob to adjust different gains. But then if you want to boost it up, kick this sucker on. And the nice thing about the Joyo is it has this knob in the middle where you can kind of create different tones just by turning it left or right. You want to crank it up, it's more of like a... To the left, it's more vintage sounding. To the right, it's more modern sounding. I kind of like it somewhere in the middle. All right, you guys, that was my 4 guitar rigs for under 1,000 or close to 1,000. Let me know what you think in the comments of the ideas or the rigs, what you do different. There's so many options today. These are just some of the things I have in my studio that I grabbed that I would go to for a gig. And they're still available right now that you can buy on Amazon or on Reverb and get good deals on and have great tones for live use. The Boss Katana is 50 watts. You could get a 100. It's a little more. It would put you over the $1,000 limit. But this thing I've gigged with in clubs, on big stages, put a mic in front of it. It sounds great. If you're on a budget, there's so many different avenues these days for under 1,000. Let me know what you guys think. If this video helped you, and please like and subscribe, and we will see you at the next video. Adios.